on the radar, man. Yo, I got my guy, K. Anthony, calling in. What's up, bro?
Ooh, I'm good, man. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Yo, I'm happy we finally get to do this because like it was right before the coronavirus started that you and I were planning to do an actual sit down. We even had a date. We had a whole date
Right,
set up
a
too.
whole date.
And what's funny about that date, I think that was the day that I was like, oh nah, this shit getting bad. I think we got to stay home. And
Yeah,
then
they about to shut everything down.
yeah, and then I stayed home that day and I hit you. I was like, we'll get back hopefully in a few weeks. And then like that weekend happened, and then Monday they was
A
like, nah,
few
don't come
weeks,
back.
bro. It's August.
I know.
Now.
They
That
was
was like in February or March. That's so crazy
it
though,
was in
because we
March,
didn't
yeah.
even know. We didn't know the stipulations of what was about to happen.
Yeah, bro. I remember that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna catch him in like a few weeks, and then the weekend happened, and then Monday came, and they was like, yo, don't bring your ass to work no more. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm home from now on, and then now we're here. Now we're caught up to today.
Adjusting and transitioning.
I don't think it's ever gonna be this is ever gonna be something that we get used to. I think this is always gonna feel weird until we get back to normal.
Yeah, I don't know. When is normal coming though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is it ever coming?
I mean,
are we just gonna be like this for a long time?
We try to make things as normal as possible, and with music and all this stuff coming out, we try to like at least we have music,
Right.
And you got this new record with Demo
Yes.
out now. Bless me, congratulations on that. Congratulations
Thank
on
you,
the
bro.
project that dropped not too long ago in March. Yeah, man, I really like Along the Way, and one of the things I wanted to ask you about it was because the way you titled it was like there was like periods in like different places, right?
Right.
So I don't remember what place. I just wrote Along the Way down in my notes, but I wanted to ask you, what was the point? Like, what was the purpose of you of those periods being in those different places in the title of it?
Because originally when we did the project, I was telling people the project name, and they were like, "That's kind of a long ass name for an album," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's telling my story." And like as we were promoting it, and like dropping the singles last year and things of that nature, we ended up being in a situation where I was like, all right, I got to get a way for people to start to engage with the project. Nobody's going to want to type out Along the Way. So we just was like, oh yeah, ATW, let's put the periods here. And I had like a fight between like wanting to do Along the Way, like just the whole cover and no periods. But then I was like, nah, we got to put ATW because people are going to call it that anyways. Just for short. It's abbreviation. It's nothing too crazy. It stands for that. I had another acronym that I actually forgot about. It was another acronym on top of Along the Way that right now I can't think of because my mind is not even on that project anymore. But yeah, it was another acronym on it about the album that like explained outside of just Along the Way and like the storytelling aspect of the album.
And it really felt like you were telling your story because like one of the records I really enjoyed was Broken. And I liked how, like, you were talking about, like, how your mom and, like, other different aspects of your life and you're reflecting on them. So talk to me a little bit about that record and, like, the journey that I guess, you took yourself on this project.
So, like, I always wanted to make a project like this. I'm a huge fan of people creating cohesive albums. And, like, I try to do that with every project I do. Like, there's always an underlying theme to it. Anytime you hear a project or single or something, there's like, it's never a complete thing until you hear the whole project. So like you may hear the single and like it, but you're not fully grasping and understanding what the song is truly going to be about because it's surrounded around a bunch of themes and things of that nature that are going to mesh into one when you listen to the project. So I just wanted to tell my story, and I'm a big fan of Kendrick, obviously, and I love the way he puts together albums so beautifully. I feel like every major debut album he's had, it has been like, I don't even know, like it's been weaved together perfectly in terms of how he sequences things and makes things flow, So I try to like take a page out of his book and like just create albums that are going to be, something that is cohesive. And Along the Way was just one of those projects where I was like, all right, I'm going to be completely honest with myself and with my audience. Whoever's listening, I want you to like feel uncomfortable when you listen to this project, whether it be me talking about my mom and like the things that I seen at 8 years old, or just Broken. Broken is about like me coming up, but it's also about me being homeless at one point, pursuing this dream and trying to like make a way with music and stuff like that. There's a bunch of songs. Running is also like a super honest song where I'm like really being honest with my audience and like talking about the things that I've been through when I was like in the 6th grade, and like we were living in shelters at that point. My dad not being around, all of these different things, and having these conversations about honesty. That's really what the project is. A long story of honesty and all the things that I've seen. Because I feel like people like my music, but they never really got to understand why I'm so passionate about the things that I do. Mm-hmm. And that project is that for me.
And I also liked I Wonder off of it. And it was interesting because I was listening, because this other dude I interviewed this week, his name's My Favorite Color. He had this song called Funeral. And in the song, he raps about his own funeral and introspecting about his own, and like thinking about his own funeral.
Dope.
And
I don't
the
think
video,
I could write like that. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, and he talks about like his ex being there and his mom being there, and the video is him like sitting up in like a coffin. And I thought that was so interesting. And I feel like, and I wonder, obviously, is like you kind of like, you know, also in a way, like just thinking about different things in like your life and whatnot. And I felt that was pretty cool, and like how it cohesively fit into the theme of the project, and how it kind of, you know, between Broken and I Wonder, like I feel like people got a really good perspective of who you are as an artist and as a human being.
Yeah, and it also explains the people around me, because I Wonder is like not just a song about myself. It's about like, you know, friends and how I feel they think about me. You know, it's not necessarily what they actually think, but like what I'm in my mind thinking sometimes about what they're thinking about me. You know, et cetera, et cetera. And those were one of those situations where I just like wrote a song and I was like, I'm gonna put my guts on this and like really talk about all of the things that I, you know, feel and the things that I'm going through at the moment, and mesh it all into one song. And it's just about wondering what people are wondering about me, you know?
And that's dope. I really fucked with that. And, you know, speaking of like putting everything into like a record, you got this new, like, you were telling me before the interview, you got this record coming out at the end of September that's like very politically charged. And you said it's going to cause some people to get upset. So what is like, what do you think about this record? Because obviously I don't have a name for it. I don't got the video, but, but like, what do you think about this record that's going to get people so upset?
So the second verse is totally based around Kanye. And, I wrote this song. This is before Kanye said he was going to run for president. Okay. I wrote this song maybe like 2-3 years ago, and I never had a place to put it. It was when he said the slavery was a choice thing.
Oh, yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like people kind of forgot about it, and we all move on because we just think Kanye is Kanye, and he's Kanyeing it up. But that time I was so affected by it. Like I was really upset, and I was like, why would he say that? Like, what is wrong with this man?
Yeah, it's a really dumb thing to say.
Yeah, exactly. And at the moment, I was like really emotional, and I made a song about it. And it's just me. It's not even me coming at Kanye in a crazy way, but it's more so like checking him and like having a conversation with the world that agreed with him because he's Kanye. I kind of just was like explaining how, you know, slavery was never abolished. It's still hidden in plain sight. If you go to jail, you're still considered a slave. It's in the, you know, 13th Amendment. And I was kind of just like explaining to people. And then I also had a line where I was talking about, and this was around the time where Meek, I think, had just got locked back up, or he was still in jail and stuff like that. And everybody was like talking about free Meek, but in the same breath, kind of agreeing with Kanye. And I kind of meshed those two conversations together, and I was like, you know, all his supporters, I said the line was like, all his supporters was the same one that was screaming free Meek Mill. Y'all got it backwards. Basically, just like, you can't agree with that and at the same time want the liberation of black men. Like, it's just not, it doesn't mesh together. It's not going to be a thing.
The ideas are two completely like opposite spectrums of, you know.
Exactly. So I kind of just like came at the people that agreed with Kanye in the same sense. And, you know, the video is going to be so fire. I can't wait to show people. But the whole song as a whole, just not the Kanye verse, the whole song as a whole is really just very politically charged. I feel like it's the perfect time, and I don't want to be the person that tries to capitalize off of this. So like whatever we make off of this, we're going to be putting it into like, organizations and things that surround the Black Lives Matter movement and things of that nature, because I just feel like it's the time to have a conversation about something that is other than, you know, just the drama in the world that we all see every day with celebrities and all of the bullshit that's been going on in the past couple of months. I just feel like it's the time to talk about the protest that's been happening. I feel like nobody's come out with like politically charged music except for like Lil Baby. And no disrespect to Lil Baby, I love the song, but as a whole, we don't look at Lil Baby as a leader to be the person to come out and have a conversation about that type of stuff. You know, we look at the Kendricks, the J. Cole's, the Drakes, and not to say Lil Baby can't do that, but where are the people that we look to have these conversations at when it's time to have these conversations? You know?
Yeah. What was the record Cole put out that he got flack for? I forgot the name of it.
I forget the name too.
It was very where he started beefing with No Name or some shit. Yeah,
and it was just like, bro, this is not the time for that, you know?
Yeah.
J. Cole at that moment, like, I love Cole. I'm a Cole fan, but I just feel like I didn't agree with him. I don't think he should have done that. I don't even think that he should even call himself dumb. Like, I just feel like the conversation, it was a cop out to me, and it was like very passive aggressive to like say, hey, Cole, I mean, No Name, I fuck with you, but at the same time, I'm not smart enough to handle this. But your whole catalog is like based off of politically charged things and like having a conscience, you know, and not just being the norm rapper. So for you to cop out when it's time to actually talk about something and being a capitalist and all of these different things, you kind of copped out and didn't have a conversation about it. And I just kind of felt like, Cole, come on, you're better than this as an artist.
So you're ready to get all your frustrations out.
Huh?
You're ready to get all your frustrations out.
Yeah, exactly. So Cole, shout out to Cole, but in that situation, I kind of just didn't agree with him.
And we don't have a name for this record yet, right?
I do, but it's called Niggas. So it's really just about talking to my people, like, as a whole. But it's not niggas, it's niggas. So, you know, in the Black Twitter community, we would call it what you would call it, the woke song, or
the woke song. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I spelled it niggas because, you know, in I think in Ethiopia it stands for king and stuff like that. So I'm talking to people. I'm not just talking to men though. I'm talking to women too. Like, as a whole, this is a Black conversation that we need to have. So yeah, the song's called Niggas, and it should be out at the end of September. Just kind of letting Bless Me build up, which it is, and it's probably my fastest growing song right now.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's dope. And you got a new project coming out like this fall as well.
Yeah, I got a project coming out called Survivor's Remorse.
Survivor's Remorse. Okay, dope.
Yeah, it's just like the TV show. It's a spinoff off of the TV show. Like, dope. I always stuck, and mind you, I never watched the show. I want to be clear on that. I just think that the name was so fire, and it kind of is relatable to people that have survivor's guilt and deal with survivor's guilt, and especially Black people that grow up in certain neighborhoods and see certain things on a daily, and the stuff that we think is normal is kind of not normal. So it's one of those projects where I'm kind of talking about, you know, the things that I'm facing on a daily, and the stuff that I feel like, you know, I think Lil Wayne in The Game had a song in 08 where it's I think it's My Life, when he was like, and the line was like, you done took so many of my people. I'm just wondering. It went along the lines of, you took so many of my people, why not me? Right. You know, I kind of feel that sentiment sometimes when I see my friends not here and things of that nature. People I grew up with, all because of, like, you know, systematic racism and environmental racism and things of that nature, where we're like living in these projects and having to deal with all of these things that we don't necessarily get to talk on because we're growing up in cycles. And yeah, Survivor's Remorse is a project about that.
That's dope.
It's the truth about the hood and the stuff that we go through, which is why Bless Me was like the first single. It's kind of one of those songs where I was like, I'm asking for the universe to bless me, because I see all my friends going down a certain cycle, and like we're continuing the same shit that we do. I have this line in Bless Me where I'm talking about where I'm like, pull up a bottle for another decade in our mama's crib because we grown ass babies being coddled. And that's really just Yeah, sorry. My phone kind of just went out just now. But
You good?
yeah, it's one of those conversations where you're just like talking about, you know, my friends going through certain shit and dealing with certain things, and we are passing on that same shit. Like, we're still in our mom's cribs. I feel like we're about to be 30. Not me personally, but some of my friends are personally going through those things, and it's not their fault. But it's the cycles that we continuously get passed down from
Right.
systematic racism and things of that nature.
And I love how like all these projects of yours, they all have like a theme to it, you know, whether it be
Yeah.
ATW or this project coming out. Like I like how you have like that one cohesive theme, and you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna stick to it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely trying to continue to make and I think that's my biggest challenge when I'm creating. It's like projects, like coming up with a project idea. It's not writing the music. It's not anything, because like I can write songs, but it's more so like, all right, how am I gonna delay this? How am I gonna relay this message to people so they can really understand it as a whole, you know, and what direction I'm gonna go in. I never want to make the same thing over and over.
Right, exactly. And sometimes like when you're even creating, you know, like you might like go on a tangent, you might find something else that you want to do, and then it's like, ah, shit, but I want to stick to this idea, but like, oh,
Right.
but I have this idea over here, and I kind of want to do something with this,
Right.
but because of everything going on, because of like, you know, you want to stick to the theme, you can't really like go that way, even though you want to.
Right. Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I understand that, and like you also have I heard you also have like this clothing brand, and you have a label, and you have like all these other business ventures. So what are you doing? Because I see the clothes, I see it on the gram, very
Yeah.
dope.
Thank you, bro.
Talk to me about like your label and like the clothing brand and all that other stuff that you got going on.
So my label is At Perfection Records. It's something that I started back in 2011, and it initially wasn't a record label. It was more so it was just a Tumblr name, if I'm being honest. On some Tyler the Creator shit, like I know that's how he like came up with Odd Future and shit like that. And a lot of people actually had their come up like that. I think ASAP like was a Tumblr, just a Tumblr thing at some point, and then it just became so big. That Perfection was just a Tumblr name, something that I came up with because at the time I feel like I was starting to become a teen, and like I was dealing with like the outer world now. Like I was starting to see like people wanting to be perfect, people wanting to like be in to look a certain way to the world and things of that nature. And I kind of just went with, nah, fuck that. I don't want to live with perfection. Like I am who I am at the end of the day. And don't get me wrong, it's not a cop out to the meaning of perfection is not a cop out to growing and accountability. It's just more so understanding that whatever it is I'm dealing with currently, you know, it doesn't define me, and I will grow from it. And I don't think people should be too harsh on others while they're growing too. Everybody's going through a journey in life, and I feel like that's where perfection stems from.
Damn, bro, you got a fucking dope explanation for everything. Like
And
every single thing, you're like, all right, I got a whole story behind this joint.
nah, because that's what it is. Like I feel like I've built it for so long. I built all of these things for so long that like I do have explanations behind it, because I'm like sitting down and actually going through the motions for so many years and stuff like that, you know. So I'm finally at a point where I can start to explain it and articulate it properly to people. And F Perfection clothing is literally the same thing. It's the same meaning. I just want a younger generation to run with it. Just like how we have Supreme. I always say this, I want F Perfection to be as big as Supreme. Imagine kids running around and like having the mindset of like, yo, I don't want to be perfect in this internet age, you know, like where people are like always trying to look perfect on the gram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever the fuck they're doing. Everybody wants to look like they have everything together. Imagine we had people in the mindset of like, I don't have everything together, but I will get there, and I'm trying to get there and, you know, create a different path for myself and not really follow what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Because we live in an age of everybody just following one another.
Facts. And I love how you're like trying to employ that message through your clothing and having like the younger generation kind of like get that.
Yeah, I feel like we had clothing lines for that, like that in the early 2000s, where like rappers would put out things with actual political statements and things that stand for something and not just like a brand that's just a brand, you know. Like it actually stands for something. It gives people something to feel good about. So that's what I'm trying to do. I really want to implement that in people's lives and make them feel good about whatever it is they're doing.
Man, I love that. Man, so what else you got coming up? What else is in the works? You got the project, you got the super politically charged record coming out at the end of September. What else you got coming up that the people got to know about?
Well, the video for the super politically charged project song is going to be super dope. Like, I think it's going to be my best video.
Nice.
In terms of when people see it, and I think that's what's going to get the flack the most when people see it because of what we're going to do in the video. But yeah, just more putting out more. I think fall, I'm going to actually finally release the clothes because I've been working on so many different things in terms of clothing that I haven't really had time to sit down and like put it out because I'm also working on another project and stuff like that. But yeah, clothing is going to come out this fall. More videos, more entertainment, and yeah, that's it. Just more music. Like I'm really just a music person. Like I really want to continue to put out music and go harder than my last shit every single time. I don't want to slow down or do anything that's going to slow me down. Like I just want to continue to create, and that's it. Like I'm a creative 100%.
Nice, man. I'm looking forward to everything that you got coming up. The new project, everything, man. I'm really like, I really loved Along the Way, and I'm excited for this new joint you got. Man, also something I've been doing with everybody during quarantine and all the artists that I've interviewed is I've asked them, in such a time of uncertainty, in such a time of, like things just constantly changing and things not getting back to normal.
Right.
What message do you have for people who are watching this at home, whether they be your fans, other artists, rappers, your everyday people? What message would you have for them if they're watching this?
My message is, once again, F perfection. Everybody, F perfection. Continue to grow, continue to be great. And, in this crazy time, try not to be too much in your head. I know everybody's dealing with something, some sort of like problem or whatever. We're all trying to adjust to the situation. And it's really, really hard. Even for me, I just want everybody to understand that like life continues and we need to continue to grow and make the best out of it while it's here, and adjust. And hopefully this makes us all better people at the end of it,
Boom, man. There it is. I want to thank you again so much for chopping it up with me today. I'm happy that we could finally like get on Zoom and knock out this interview and make it happen. And I'm excited, like I said, for the new project and everything, man. And
thank you, bro.
Wish you nothing but the best for the rest of 2020.
Same to you, bro. Thank you. Blessing you, bro.
Let the people know where they can follow you at and get your music, all that beautiful stuff, where they can get everything.
Everybody follow me at K Anthony III on all social media. Except for Twitter. Twitter is K Anthony TH3RD, but it's still the third. Because somebody stole the name. And then Instagram is K Anthony III, spelled out the way I say it. All digital streaming platforms is K Anthony. Just look me up on there. YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, whatever you stream music through, it's there.
Boom, man. There it is, man. You heard him. Go follow him. Go check out that Along the Way project. Bless Me featuring Demo out now, and look out for that new album this fall.
Bless you, bro. Thank you.
My guy, K Anthony on the radar.